Ça top? Peço com ouvido.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Bonjour tout le monde. Salam alaikum. Sabah wa neksan. Sabah al khair. And minardek and minardesh. Mwasuze mutia. Habari za asubuhi. Well, we are about to start, so may I request all delegations to take their seats. Our chief guest, excellencies, ministers are taking their seats, so shall I request all delegations to take their seats so that we can start our business. I think I have to stand. Thank you. Shall we please take our seats as we welcome excellencies, ministers, and delegations to the 8th General Assembly of the IGAD Drought Disaster Resilience and Sustainability Initiative, being held today, the 22nd of July, 2022, in this beautiful city of Addis Ababa, the capital of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia. Mubarak Mabuya are my names, the manager for Cooperation and Partnerships at IGAD Secretariat in Djibouti. Permit me to recognize in our midst Excellency Dr. Fikru Regasa, the State Minister for Agriculture of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, our host, and the chair of the 8th Idrisi General Assembly. You're most welcome, Excellency. Permit me also to recognize the chair of IGAD, the Republic of Sudan, represented by Excellency Dr. Fatima Ma, who substantively serves as the Director General for International Relations in the Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry for the Republic of Sudan. Excellencies, permit me again to recognize Excellency Honorable Mohammed Adam Moali, the Minister for Livestock, Forestry, and Rangelands, the Republic of Somalia. Most welcome, Excellency. Permit me also to recognize Excellencies, ministers responsible for drought resilience in the IGAD member states, represented here by Honorable Abdul Bahari Jilo, Chief Administrative Secretary, representing Professor Margaret Kobia, the Minister or Cabinet Secretary for the Public Service, Gender, Senior Citizens Affairs, and Special Programs, the Republic of Kenya. Excellency Joseph Africano Batel, Under Secretary Ministry of Environment and Forestry, representing Her Excellency Ms. Josephine Napon Cosmos, the Minister for Environment and Forestry of the Republic of South Sudan. Excellency Tabarak Mohammed, representing the Minister for Agriculture, Water, Fisheries, and Livestock in charge of marine resources, His Excellency Ibrahim Elmi Mohamed. And then we have Excellency Pamela Komjuni, representing Honorable Esther Anyakun, the Minister for Disaster Preparedness, Refugees Affairs for the Republic of Uganda. Excellencies, permit me to recognize His Excellency Dr. Warkene Gebeyu, the Executive Secretary of IGAD in absentia, who for exigencies of duty had to fly off the continent in order to attend to some important engagements, official engagements, but has left in his shoes the able representative in Mr. Awira Anthony, the Director for Planning and Partnerships at IGAD Secretariat. Distinguished delegations from the IGAD member states, our dear partners in involvement, both present and online, civil society partners, ladies and gentlemen. You are most welcome once again. My duty is just to break the ice and ensure that our session flows smoothly, particularly the opening session, which will run, we hope, for about 30 minutes or thereabout, after which we will have a group photograph, a break, and then get into the General Assembly that will be chaired by our host, the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia. Excellencies, now permit me to get into the program proper. We will be having remarks from the representatives of this, representative from the civil society. We'll have remarks from the representative of development partners. Then we'll have a welcome statement on behalf of His Excellency Dr. Warkene Gebeyu. And then we'll have remarks from the chair of IGAD, the Republic of Sudan. And thereafter we'll have remarks from our host and chair of the General Assembly. And after those remarks, I will request the host and chair of the Assembly to take over business. So, Excellencies, without much ado, permit me to invite Mrs. Mulu Hagusha, who represents civil society within the Idris family, to share with us her remarks and perspectives on behalf of civil society at the General Assembly. Mrs. Mulu, please, would request you to come and take the floor, and you have your statement delivered on behalf of civil society. Do we have the microphones set? The podium. You can confirm we have a microphone there? Great.
Thank you very much. Distinguished guests, Excellencies, thank you very much, and participants. The Civil Society Forum is really happy to be part of this delegation, and we discuss a lot about the resilience issue of our region. We know we are affected by drought, COVID, conflict, but together we hope we'll solve our problems. And thank you very much for having us. This is what I have my remark.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Mulu, for that presentation. Traditionally, government is made up of legislature, executive, and the judiciary. They talk about the fourth estate, which usually the media. The civil society have duly occupied their space as the fifth estate, and we welcome your statement, brief as it has been. Excellencies, consolidating the path to resilience and sustainability scaling up humanitarian actions and resilience investments requires working in partnership. And Excellencies, over the past 10 plus years, we've been working with a number of partners, and many of them are in this room, others are online, and we've been walking this journey. We've been facing and confronting challenges. I know during the course of this General Assembly, the facts and figures will be shared. But what's the reality is that this path has not been walked by the member states alone, nor the Secretariat, but we've also worked with our partners. In this regard, Excellencies, allow me to invite a representative of our development partners who have invested technical, financial, and other resources to ensure that we are able to deal with the challenges of drought in this region. And this will be by Dr. James Dobson, the Deputy Mission Director for Ethiopia Mission, who will be here to speak on behalf of the Global Alliance. Dr. Dobson, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Good morning. My name is Dubale Admasu. I am the Resilience Advisor for the Ethiopia USAID mission. I am delivering the speech actually representing the USAID, as you said, the Mission Director, Dr. Jim Dumpson, in his absence. So I will share the speech he prepared for this audience on behalf of him because he couldn't make it. Your Excellency, Mr. Awiya Anthony, the Director for Planning, Coordination, Partnership Division of IGAD, representing His Excellency Dr. Warqaneh Gabayehu. Your Excellency, State Minister Dr. Fikru, State Minister for our Ministry of Agriculture, and distinguished delegates and IGAD countries, representatives, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Global Alliance for Action for Drought Resilience, Growth, and broader development partners, it is a pleasure to be here with you all in this General Assembly. The Global Alliance has provided considerable financial, political, as it has been said, support to the resilience building effort in the Horn of Africa for our 10 years since IGAD called for the support to end drought emergency in this region. This support had led to improvement in diversified livelihoods, livestock productivity, and competitiveness, increasing resilience capacities, better early warning, early action, coordination, and joint planning of interventions, and improved government system to address shock and stresses. USAID, as you may know, instituted crisis modifier funding approach within the regular resilience programs and projects to timely respond to emergencies, protect livelihoods, assets that all of us can draw lessons, and particularly engaging the private sector as well. While we have put resources into IGAD, it is the IGAD team that has been instrumental in articulating and advocating for bold vision like Idris's strategy and honoring the commitments to member states and donors to deliver the resilience building initiatives. We acknowledge and appreciate all your efforts. However, despite billions of dollars humanitarian assistance over the decade that the number of people need humanitarian aid and increase the result of recurrent crisis, increasing due to the recurring crisis like drought, desert locust, and conflict. These shocks are undermining the development gains in the region. Of particular concern is the current drought and the impact of the Russia-Ukraine war we are now experiencing in the region for food price inflation. As Global Alliance partners, we remain committed to gathering the political as well as financial support to build resilient, sustainable, and inclusive development to the Horn of Africa, not only from the donor and development partners, but also from all of you member states. Together, we make progress here in the region, protecting those most vulnerable and reducing the need for humanitarian aid. To achieve this, we need to focus on specific measures, the following actions. IGAD member states must allocate adequate resources to address regional challenges that transcends borders and to address the root cause of the recurrent crisis and other risks. People across the Horn of Africa need your regional leadership and ownership. Just as people across the Horn need to plan for shocks and stresses, member states also need to be prepared. As you know, it is not a matter of if shocks will happen, but when they will happen, as we are experiencing now in the Horn. As I said earlier, disaster risk management needs to be integrated into the development planning and the budgeting process. We also encourage you to build your own contingency reserve fund so that needed resources are available during economic turmoil. One encouraging example how this can be found in Kenya. Kenya has integrated, as you all know, the disaster management into the national and country development planning process through the ending drought emergency mechanism. The creation of the National Drought Emergency Fund by the government of Kenya shows a policy shift towards drought risk management before the shocks arrives, rather than crisis response after the shock hits, which is the experience in most of the other countries. Kenya is taking a proactive approach to ending drought and a proactive approach that can be extended to other types of disasters and emergencies. In addition, increasing coordination to IGAD and make your own contingency plan. The Global Alliance calls on you to expand your social protection programs and strengthen the coping and adequate capacities for people and their livelihoods. Countries in the region have varying level of safety net, such as providing cash and other services to the most vulnerable population to increase efficiency, coverage, and targeting. The Ethiopian Productive Safety Net Program and other countries' social protection system that cover the great proportion of citizens through domestic resource is another example that we all can learn from. Finally, as we all know, borders matters, as we have been discussing the last 2 days. How the member states IGAD deal with these borders is very critical. There are not only geographic borders, as we all know, in these regions, but also there are invisible borders. That makes it difficult to have unified approach to make progress in the region. You might even say there are borders between development partners. We are not working together as we wanted. We need a multidimensional collaborative platform that operates across borders and donors, and which puts the action and responsibilities of IGAD member states here in the region and at the center. While each of you has part to play in further protecting your population against risk and emergency, our collective action across borders to make progress in the region has to be better coordinated. And as development partners, we at the Global Alliance must challenge ourselves to have more coordinated and joint effort. With coordination effort, we can make real progress towards resilience capacities building, sustainability, and prosper the region. Shocks will come in the future, but the work we have been doing together over the last years, and the direction we are taking together here today will improve our ability to address those shocks sustainably, effectively, to the benefit of the tens of millions of people who live in the region. Together, we can achieve